Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, to everyone. Thank you very much for joining today's webinar. Today is the 12th August 2025. So just in the middle of the summer. I appreciate everybody who managed to join the event. My name is Alberto Martellini. I'm the founder, Institute Managing Director for Italy, and I'm delighted to host today's event about empowering startups with essential AI tools. I'm here with Marco Cello, whom I will introduce very shortly. But before, I want to share the content of the agenda for today and spend a few words about the Founder Institute. The event today, today's event will be recorded and shared on our YouTube channel. I will post the link later on the chat. Before we start, I just wanted to ask how many of you, if you can just raise your hand, how many of you are founders? I think we have a couple of hands. That's great. Or one hand. Yeah, thanks, Andrea. Welcome. So that's you are on the right in the right place. We're going to talk about application of iTool, particularly useful for founders, but even for if you're not a founder, I'm sure you will find this topic quite relevant to apply in your business. Okay, great. So let me start with a brief introduction. If you don't know us, here is the Founder Institute. We are the largest early stage accelerator with over 7,000 startups graduated in more than 200 chapters or cities around the world, 100 plus countries. Our alumni come from different sectors, including B2B, SaaS, media, fintech, education, clean tech, and all in between. We are a generalist tech accelerator, and we focus on identifying the right talents and connecting them to our powerful network of mentors, investors, and obviously like-minded founders, whilst leveraging the best practices from the Silicon Valley, and as we have done for the last 15 years. And we partner with many international and local accelerators that may focus on specific industry and sectors. Our expertise focus and lies on guiding early stage ideas and founders through the process of building a sustainable business. And as I said, we leverage on a well-established Silicon Valley methodology and a supportive network of highly qualified mentors, both in Italy and internationally, industry experts and investors, in order to help you to grow your business. If you are based in Italy, so to grow in Italy for sure, to grow in Europe and globally as well. And our primary objective is to collaborate and with talented, driven entrepreneurs to establish long-term ventures while steering clear of the common pitfall that can threaten the life of an early stage business. And we have done this job since 2009. And we have reviewed many applications, and we employ assessment tool like the well-known Entrepreneurs DNA assessment, which predict an individual potential for succeeding in our program as a founder of a high growth company. And this is irrespective of their idea, location, or demographic background. And in fact, I want to invite you to take part to our assessment. It's a free assessment, so we'll put as well the link on the chat so you can get a sense of the type of profile of an entrepreneur profile you might fit into in our accelerator. One of the key things and key strengths of our program is mentoring. We spend a lot of time selecting and working with our mentors. We look at people who have proven themselves from an entrepreneurial point of view and can share their experience with our participants. And we have at the moment more than 50 local mentors in Italy, and they are part of a global network of 25,000 mentors in many regions, in many countries, across many industries. And they have experience in clearly in building innovative companies, in fundraising. Some of them are investors, and some of them as well comes from corporate settings, and they have experience in marketing, commercialization, product management. So they are functional experts, but they are also very valuable resources to introduce you to potential partners and stakeholders. If you decide to consider our program, I hope so. We run what we call an FI core program, which lasts about 4 months. And once you graduate from that program, you will possibly access to the Founder Lab, which is a deep dive on investment readiness. And you will eventually, as an alumni, become part of our global alumni network and will benefit from all the perks, the guidance, the content, and obviously the networking opportunities. If you want to learn more about a different program, here are the links on the bottom of the page. We will post as well on the chat shortly. And just to give you an idea, we focus on acceleration. But in order to do that, you need to do it well. We need to build what we say an ecosystem around our founders. Myself, Ariona, and Giovanni, will present them shortly, are part of the local leader team in Italy. And we therefore foster and build ecosystem for this country. In addition to that, we do have it's the Founder Institute focus on building successful venture capitalists as well, and this is through the program called the VC Lab. And then I already introduced the other program, which allow you to build your fundraising campaign and be part of our alumni network. So this is the Founder Institute family and ecosystem. And specifically for Italy, we are going to run our next program in October. So we'll start pretty shortly. I'll invite you to consider joining us. So taking the DNA Entrepreneur test and putting forward your application. If you want to learn more about the program, please reach out to us, to Ariona and myself and Giovanni, and we are happy to give you a bit more information about this program. Here is the Italian team. As I said, Ariona and Giovanni are also in Milan. And just reach out to us via LinkedIn, and we're happy to connect with you and, as I said, answer any questions. But today we do have a great event, a great speaker. I'm delighted to welcome Marco Cello. First of all, Marco, thank you very much for taking the time. I know it's the period of the year where people are probably on the beach, but you decide to spend time with us, so that's great. So maybe we can start a quick introduction about yourself, and then we can go deeper in the topic for today's session.
Yep. Thanks, Alberto and Ariona, and thanks here for everyone here. So I'm Marco. I have more or less 15 years of experience as senior tech executive. I started my career as a research scientist, but then after some working some university research labs, But then I started to move years back towards industry, and since then I basically work mainly in startups and scale up with different role, but all around tech lead, tech executive. I always stayed in the very technical, deep technical aspect of the business. So I keep working and building stuff even in these days. Alberto, can I
sorry,
start?
I was, of course, it's cool. Sorry, Mark. Yeah. Now, what's interesting and solid background, Marco. Thanks for the introduction. Yes, just before we start, maybe a bit more like in terms of yes, your experience. Obviously, you see entrepreneurship from both the founder's point of view and the mentor and an advisor. Do you have any kind of, we talk about our acceleration in terms of mentoring, or any thought about how to get the most out from a mentoring relationship, or a relationship with an advisor, like perhaps like technical like you, if you're a founder? Any tip that you can share that works particularly well in your experience?
Well, definitely. Even today, I speak a lot with people that look for mentorship, especially technical mentorship, and one of the main question I usually get is how to navigate the tech landscape, the technology landscape, and how to what are the best practice to select technology, analyze technology, and stuff like that, because every day basically new tech comes out, but the difficult part is first understand their value, especially in what you're doing, and how to get the best benefit out of that.
Awesome, and I'm sure you are an amazing advisor. So we want to learn more from you. I think we can start with the presentation. We have about 20 to 25 minutes. Mark will talk through the topic. Feel free to ask question in the chat. We may keep the question to the end, but feel free to express your feedback or questions, anything you want to share with Marco and with us. So over to you, Marco. Thank you.
Okay, so let me share. Okay. Okay. Can you see the slide, Alberto?
Yeah.
Okay. So here basically is just written what I said before. Mainly work as CTO, head of IT in startups, and in the past also more research role in US and also European research institute and university. Today, what I would like to share with you is basically are mainly three things, three aspects. So the first is recommended AI tools for your startup journey. That is also my startup journey. The second is how to evaluate new AI tools. And hopefully we can have also after the presentation a question and answer moment to dig a little bit more. And what I think is the future of AI in the business. So before that, just few terms for very much related with AI for someone that are not really into that space. So when we talk about we talk about AI a lot. If you open your newspaper a lot, and also especially we talk about a lot on generative AI. So what is it? Generative AI is one of the artificial intelligence technology that can create content like text, voice, images, code, instead of only analyze existing data, like old and legacy, in some way, machine learning techniques. And usually generative AI can be used for a lot of stuff, not only ideation, drafting, but also creative generation, brainstorming, reasoning, and stuff like that. LLM, large language model, LLM are a specific aspect, part, or technology inside generative AI, and especially is specialized in understanding and producing human-like text. So it's trained on massive language data set to answer questions, write content, summarize, and also reason with in a natural language. Prompting is basically the main process of giving generative AI clear instruction, context to them in a way that get the output we want. So there is also a new, let's call a new technique called prompting prompting techniques that are able to improve and help you in how to improve your prompting quality in order to get better results from generative AI systems. AI-based tool is a very general term, because basically inside those tools, basically there is everything. In general, our application platform that has some sort of AI inside of them. Some of them are more like automation kind of tools, not much smart. But yes, in general, when we talk about AI-based tool, we think about tools that in some way have some sort of intelligence or Gen AI kind of technology inside. And then the last one is AI agents and agentic. This represent more the next step of what's happened in the curve of technology, generative AI, LLM, and agents. So AI agents are AI systems that operate in some sort of goal-driven loops. They can sense information, decide what to do, take action, and do stuff with minimal human guidance. So the AI agent is the first attempt to have kind of autonomous partner that work with you. So after this, some terms definition. Let's start with the first topic. So recommended AI tools for startup journey. So this is mainly based on my experience. So the tool I usually do every day, the approach I usually do in this journey. So I will focus mainly in these 6 phases. So discover phase, validate, position, launch, the creation of MVP, and sell. And inside of, I will briefly describe what are the main tools I usually use in those steps. So the first step is the discovery step. So the objective of discover is explore ideas, even crazy ideas, and before talking to real customers. In general, in this phase, I usually use a very popular and very, how to say, effective techniques that is called jobs to be done theory. That is a theory that was studied in more or less 30 years ago by a professor in Harvard. And basically it says that in that theory, you analyze the user needs and the things that user are doing with the product or service in a different lens. So you analyze the activity, what the user are doing, thinking about what is the job that they are doing. Job not in the sense of normal job, but in sense of activity they are doing. And they discovered that people use product or use service not because they like, or not only because they like that product or service, but because they want to fulfill or complete a specific task, or call in this theory job. And starting from that, it expand in different way and provide a very strong framework and serious framework to analyze. First of all, to interview user or future user, and to analyze the interview you get from the user in a different way, in a more effective way. So in this phase, in the discovery phase, what I'm doing is explore ideas, create job and job performers, so using the job to be done theory before talking to real customers. And how do I do that? What I usually do in this phase is use heavily generative AI. To do what? To basically create realistic AI personas and user, and run synthetic interview towards them. So instead of, before even talking to real customer, what I usually do is start to explore a lot of ideas, crazy ideas, and create possible AI personas I want to target with that idea, and start to interview them. And this has a lot of advantages, because it's very, very quick compared to talk with real customers. I can explore a lot of different ideas, even crazy one, and create strange combination of user, synthetic users. And even before talking to the first real customer. So I use the job to be done theory inside the AI tool, because I need a very serious framework, and I do a lot of tests on that. The tools I usually do in this phase, so to create synthetic user, interview, analyze the interview, and so on, are basically two AI tools. The first is ChatGPT, but also even other Claude or Gemini, mainly to create synthetic user interview. But then in the past, I create a proper tools to do that in a more automatic fashion. The tool is the one that I wrote here, called Design Pilot, and basically it's helped me to quickly create users, synthetic user interview, and test different ideas. And then I use other tools to collect all the insights I get and reorganize. So the second step is the validation. So after I find out a list of possible tasks or main jobs and job performers, I started to interview with synthetic users. This phase, the validation, is my objective is try to put my risky assumption I created in the first step in front of real customer, and try to keep or kill or revise that assumption based on evidence. So what I'm doing here is more like run more real interview and update some sort of hypothesis tables in which basically I try to understand if all the assumptions and user pain point I found in the discovery phase are in some way match or not with real customers. Also in that phase, in this phase, I usually create very small and light landing page in order to also show to the customer side or the future customer or early adopter to show that to show better my value proposition and the possible solution I'm trying to drive. The tools I usually do in this phase are mainly three. The first one is, of course, ChatGPT, that in this case I use more for transcription. ChatGPT is very, very powerful also in the transcription phase, similar in on other tools can do, like Otter or Firefly, this kind of stuff. I found that ChatGPT is very accurate in that part, and I usually that to record and use that to transcript the interview I do with the customers. After this this phase, the idea is that after this phase, I have more clear idea of what is my very super focused value proposition that seems in some way validate with initial early users that are not, of course, yet users, but people that I start to talk with, and in some way I collect data point to that help me to validate this value proposition. The next one is more related to messaging, the position, and the competitive research. So in this part, the idea is to look out and see, okay, what are other competitors are doing in the same spot, in the same area I want to work in. The pricing, the type of messaging they are using, and also I'm doing on my side. So in this, basically, again, I usually use very general purpose tools, Claude and ChatGPT, mainly for the message creation and testing also, because also in this phase, what I usually use in ChatGPT is the role-playing game in some way. So when I want to test the messaging, the position of my value proposition, again, like in the discovery phase, I am creating synthetic user, very, very specific and precise around my ICP, my ideal customer profile, and to test against my messaging. So I use also this kind of role playing in this phase. And also I also use more like deeper research capability of ChatGPT for that help me in competitor research. There are other tools out there for competitive research. I mainly use deep research for GPT. After, there is what I call launch. So I the idea is to basically well-define a landing page, a waiting list, and all the aspect that allow me to present in a more structured way outside. Could be landing page, could be set up advertise ADV campaign on Meta, on Google, and so on. Again, here what usually use are not AI tool per se. I usually use tool like Card for landing page, of course, Google Analytics, very usually and standard tools for launching. So creation landing page, waiting list, forms, measuring the landing page traffic, and stuff like that. After that phase, there is the build or creation of MVP. So here basically is the phase in which AI is I use heavily the generative AI in this part. So what usually I do in this part is try to deliver the smallest working product that can prove value. Okay. And what I usually start with a rough description of the value proposition and some sort of rough description of the solution, small solution I want to deliver. And here I use mainly 2-3 different AI tools. Usually use Claude or ChatGPT as architect companion, and I mean as architect companion is I use GPT to propose, compare design, technical design of the product, the description of the product I envision. So I use heavily GPT with some customization. So GPT, I mean like GPT. So very specific this version of GPT in which basically they act more like a product designer, a product architect, software developer even. And this phase is a back and forth between me and GPTs in some sort of conversation in order to come up with a clear architecture, simple architecture that of course can be scalable in the future, but my primary objective is have a very simple architect of the solution, the digital product I want to build that help me to quickly build it. After that, so when in some way I have the specification of this MVP, I jump to more technical tool like VS Code, so Visual Studio Code plus GitHub Copilot or Cursor, depends. So those are tools that are used to write code and also be supported by generative AI in writing code. So what I usually do, I take my spec document I created the step before, give to GitHub Copilot or Cursor, and basically it start to create scaffolding, so the structure of the code, and start to basically fill all the components. This is I usually do for one part of the software. I usually also try mainly for front-end aspect of the product, so the UI. I use also other tools, more kind of end-to-end tools that basically you just prompt and they just create everything in some way. I try SoftGen, I try V0 by Vercel, Lovable, that is very, very popular these days. And these tools, differently from VS Code with the GitHub Copilot, are more like end-to-end. So you start to talk with those tools, and they write starting from scratch all the applications. So I'm usually use a mix of tools of these different tools, depends on the use case. The last one in this phase is the outbound follow-up engine. So what usually do in this part is start to do campaign, cold email campaign, and start to collect, basically do the classical outbound. So try to reach people that I don't know, and basically drive traffic towards my landing page, or towards my demo and stuff like that. Again, I usually use GPT and Claude for mainly copy so create the content of emails, personalized emails and stuff like that, and usually use Sales Handy for outbound cold campaign. There are other tools. I try different ones. I usually use Sales Handy to do cold email. So this is conclude the steps and the tools that I usually do in my daily work. I have two more, as I said at the beginning, I have two more aspects I want to touch. The first is how to evaluate a new AI tool. We have basically every day we receive notification about tens, even more new tools or update of tools that have AI integrated and stuff like that. So even for me that I have more technical background, it's very, very difficult sometimes to understand the value of those tools. So in general, I'm trying to on one hand try a little bit some AI tool, but on the other hand, I need also to deliver the stuff I'm doing. So I'm not trying too much tools. So usually I focus on basically 3 dimensions: the fit, the return of investment, and the adaptability. The first is fit. So how this new tool integrate with my existing workflow. Does it require process change in some way, or is just a smooth integration with usually what I do? And this is very, sometimes is a game changer in this respect. The second is I want to find a way to measure the return of investment of this new tool. So it's not just the cost, but what is the time I might save, or the quality of the decision are improved or not if I use this tool or not. And then the third one is adaptability. So how well the tool can evolve with my business needs. So is able to scale, is able to integrate in some way with other systems, and so on. So these are mainly the 3 aspects I usually look for when I try a new tool. I usually try in a couple of days, not more, and try to write down these 3 aspects for any tool I'm evaluating, in order to have some sort of database of things that I tried and maybe I didn't use afterwards. The last things I want to touch in this webinar is what I think is the future of AI that I envision. So again, as I said before, we have a lot of AI tools. Most of them AI tools are just an automated just tool for automation, not really reasoning. They are not leveraging the real power of generative AI, so the capability of reason in some sense. So for me, the future, of course, is agentic. And what I saw talking with businesses, especially small, medium businesses, is that businesses don't need more software in general. What they need is some sort of autonomous teammates, artificial teammates maybe, that fit right into how people already work. So in general, people I talk with, they don't want to change the way they work. They don't, in general, want to learn new tools, new software, new dashboard. They just want something that fits right into those people that still they work. So for me, for us, the future of AI is agents that become autonomous business partners that work together with other agents and humans. And the idea is that this new wave of creating software, Gen AI software, we think that will revolutionize completely how business operate, innovate, and grow. So have a fleet of autonomous agents that can help not only in automate stuff, but also help in reason in some way the people working in businesses. So what I'm doing in these days is working at Meshify, and basically we're working towards that vision. So building in some way the new operating system for how businesses work. Thank you very much, and I'm open to questions.
Yeah, that's awesome, Marco. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love your vision at the end. It's a lot. So I have many questions, but before, I just wanted to check if anybody in the audience has any thoughts, maybe as well as experience as a founder that you come across to all these tools. I mean, it's a completely new way of working, I suppose. As you presented the synthetic interviews, it's a fascinating way to start building your your idea, to strengthen your idea and validating your idea in a way. So yeah, any questions from the audience? And feel free as well to unmute yourself if you want to ask directly to Marco. We're quite intimate today, audience, so it's actually the best to ask questions directly, or if you want, just ask in the chat. And while we're just waiting for questions, yeah, what do you think, Marco, in terms of we talk about, one dimension of your assessment for AI tools is about the return on investment. Where as you present different phases of the startup journey, where do you think at the moment, with the tools we have today and the ones you presented, is that you get most of the value from an AI agent? Is an ideation, in the building the MVP, in scaling, or running campaigns? Where do you feel like in your experience has been them?
In my experience is in the discovery phase and in the building part. So in the discovery phase, because I really can massively explore ideas, generate synthetic user, and explore crazy ideas. And sometimes it comes out something very interesting that I can dig more with real users. And of course, the second is the building. So the help that generative AI does in building software, creating software, is, in my opinion, enormous. And is not, I would say, I find strangely, I find more interesting those tools not only in creating actually the code, like vibe coding that is called right now, but in more having a sparring partner. So what sometimes comes is that it's not I usually use those tools to write a piece of code, but it's more like review the code I wrote or ask question about how can improve or how can improve the format, the quality of the code. So like having a real sparring partner, and I found extremely useful this part.
That's great. And the follow-on question on these, obviously the speed, the velocity of this tool is, multiples of human velocity. So do you find yourself spending the entire day in these kind of sparring sessions with AI to have like feeling that, your day has been particularly heavy? How you manage your kind of attention, right? Yeah, and I see you potentially multiple monitors running different tool at the same time, and managing this workflow so dynamically. But what about your kind of human capabilities? Can you keep on this rhythm, or is becoming too much? And eventually how you do that to slow down eventually? Yeah, sorry.
Well, yeah, it's sometimes you keep working and sometimes can be alienating in some way, but for what I experience is that I get a lot of free time. Thanks for that kind of tools. I have free times in doing very much higher valuable work. So thinking more high level, more strategic way, and leaving those tools to work a little bit more on low level kind of stuff. So in some sense, they free me a lot of time because of I'm doing that. And of course, I'm doing more fast things. What definitely help generative AI, especially in software development, is that basically you can really create something in a couple of days, and you can have something that you can show to someone and show some. So you are able to create in a couple of days something that has value, and you can quickly test it. So it's also changed the way we probably in the future we might present our value proposition towards VC or towards users, because the ability to quickly create something instead of just showing a deck,
Yeah.
So, and it was a tweet of Altman from OpenAI in these days that basically told the same things, like we are in the future, in the next future, we are like the fast fashion of SAS. So basically, with the idea is that we are entering in the kind of fast fashion, but for creating app. So the ability to quickly create something and show to someone.
That's very powerful indeed. Well, thank you so much. Do we have a couple of questions from the audience? So Christina is asking, do you think AI in vibe coding redefines our definition of MVPs?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, what we were saying. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Not yet on the medium long term, because medium long term using vibe coding, using that kind of tools, it's a little bit difficult because they are struggling to maintain the quality of the code moving forward. But for MVP, definitely redefine in some way. I don't know. I cannot see now how, but definitely the ability to quickly create something definitely will change also the way we see MVP.
Very interesting, very fascinating topic. And hopefully, Christina, you answered your question. Feel free as well to jump on the call or follow up on the chat.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Well, thanks. Thanks for.
I don't know how to turn on my camera. I don't have the option here, but good that you can hear me. Yeah, it's really interesting. I've actually been discussing about this topic quite a lot lately, and we came to the same conclusion that especially for MVPs, it does change the landscape a lot. But of course, once you want to start implementing, then AI is not sufficient enough just yet. So it's very interesting that he had the same kind of opinion on it. So thank you so much for sharing.
Sure. And then what's your business, Christina? Can you share?
Yeah, so I don't have a business just yet. I used to work in robotics, but now I want to basically support German. So I'm based in Germany, by the way. German, entrepreneurs to adapt technology as well as like how to develop the right kind of product solution fits. And so it was really interesting to me because that's exactly how I work with MVPs, etc. But I wanted to learn better, like how can I apply AI more into the processes that I work with my clients with.
Awesome. Hopefully we can connect on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, sure.
Very interesting what you're doing. Thank you, Christina. And Andrea is asking, do you think MVP developing system you described can be applied to physical products using other tools too?
This is a really interesting question, Andrea. Honestly, I don't know. Probably yes. Definitely all these kind of tools up to the design specification, they can of course apply to not only digital product, but of course physical product, and they do great job also in doing that. The creation of physical products, of course, is different. So I'm expecting that probably in the future there will be something that allow to, especially thinking about 3D printing together with generative AI, with in some way the way to merge this thing together in some way. But definitely up to the discovery, the validation part. All the things that we discussed before can be applied to any product, not only digital and also in the service area. Yes.
And Andrea, what's your business? Can you share a bit more?
Don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Right now I'm a physical automation engineer in Italy for the industrial automation, and now I'm working to create the startup of a startup in the healthcare sector. More precisely in the prosthetic sector. And I'd like to build a new technology to develop a new kind of prosthetic for people who lost a lower limb in their body. So that's because of that's the start of my question. Okay, the need of imagining a new object and tell it to an AI tool, so it can show it to someone that's interested in this kind of prototype. I don't know if there is a tool that already does that, or if there is a way to use the tools you already described to do this kind of things.
For all the discovery validation part, definitely is possible to use the same tools. Of course, the part of creating MVP POC, of course, there are specific tools for that, but up to that point, definitely the use of generative AI is definitely useful for even for that kind of products. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Andrea, and as well, feel free to connect on LinkedIn or reach out via email. Love to hear more about your idea. And the last is Satish is asking about Replit as a tool for vibe coding.
Oh.
Any experience? Any feedback?
Not really. I tried well several months ago, while I will try different ones, but then I started to use others, but I should come back on that, because for those tools the rate of updates and new feature on that is astonishing. So definitely in this probably 6 months they did a great job in improving that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. And thanks, Satish, for your question. I'm conscious we have 1 minute left, so I want just to thank you again. Mark has been amazing. I mean, I think, it's a great topic, and you are a great mentor, can I say that, an advisor, and obviously expert. And we'd love to have you again at some point. We want to learn more about your Meshify project. And so please keep us in the loop. Well, thank you as well, everybody, for joining today's session. As I said, we will post the recording, but feel free to connect with us, and keep an eye on our next webinar, beginning of September, to introduce more about our local team in Italy. Again, thank you very much, Marco, and thank you very
much, Alberto and Oriona and everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.